Well, we welcome you to the Big Apple, the site of many classic football games over the years, and in the tradition of the American Football Association, that certainly continues. Welcome to East Rutherford as we have the New England Patriots taking on the New York Giants today in what is going to truly be an exciting matchup between these two teams. We welcome you in. Cameron Duty here with the DJ Kilgannon. DJ, it is as always good to have you, my friend. And let's talk a little football. The Giants showing some progress as of late, going up against a Patriot team that, of course, can get on a roll here and possibly do some damage.
Yeah, absolutely. This Patriots squad is one of the more dangerous here in the AFA, right? Because whenever they're having an on day, it is really going in their favor. And a similar statement could be said about the Giants when the game isn't going in their favor, right? This is a team that when they fall behind, it is really difficult for them to climb back into the swing of things. But if there's, if they want to get some momentum on their side as the postseason closes in, this is a game they're going to want to win.
It's very much in the realm of possibility, indeed, as we've seen them grow stronger as the last couple of weeks, including picking up a victory, putting them at 2-7 on the season. The Patriots are at 5-4. The postseason coming quickly. Let's get things started. This ball is off the tee. We are underway, and this will be returned. Brought out past the 25 down to the 28-yard line. And we will say hello to the starting lineup, for the New York Giants, led by quarterback Eric Alexander. The fullback is James White. The two running backs are Jermaine Hawk and Arnold Simpson. The wide receiving core of Emmett Ellis, Malik Sadneighbors, and Tino Austin. And at tight end, Ace Milley. As it's 1st and 10, we see motion by the fullback James White out of the backfield. Lines up on the right side of the formation. It is a give to Simpson. Shakes one tackle and tackled as he crosses the 30.
Yeah, an interesting stat for you here, Cam. You look at the most teams dominating at home, usually whenever you look at the standings. These New York Giants in their 4 home games have not been able to pick up a win in any of them. 0-4 in home games coming into this one. The Patriots even 2-2 on the road, hoping to make that a positive swing. They're also on a 2-game losing stretch. Those Patriots are dropping from 5-2 early on, leading with the Patriots now down to 5-4.
Yeah, and that is a staggering stat there, DJ. Thank you for pointing that out. Of course, as you said, the Giants yet to get a victory at home here in the Meadowlands. We'll see what they can do. That last pass was incomplete. Brings up 3rd and 6. Here is Alexander. He's under center throwing, and he has nobody there. It's good defense by the Patriots indeed. It'll bring up 4th and 6 in the punting unit.
Yeah, Smith, the one involved on the play, they're able to get a hand on it and break that one up to make sure that they get off the field pretty quickly here in this game. Not much time at all off the clock. The Giants really couldn't get anything going at all.
That is one of the things that we have certainly seen out of these New York Giants is it takes them a little bit of time to get going, and they hope to not fall behind the 8 ball. Good return here by the Patriots out to the New England 46-yard line, as we'll introduce their starting lineup, led by the quarterback Cannon McAllister, the fullback, the big Thaddeus Bubba Rig. At the running back unit, it's 2 halfbacks, the Big Stepper and Matt Jackson. The wide receiving unit of Jebediah Butters, Kool-Aid, and Marley Cush. And the 2 tight ends, Quinchester Baggins and Clay Razor. As we have a play action out quarterback keeper as McAllister is dropped after a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, that was Brody White there on the spy, able to clean him up. It almost seemed like a designed run there, Cam. McAllister didn't even really look at most of his reads before he opted to take it up the middle.
Yeah, indeed. That did seem like that was a complete design the whole way. Here's McAllister dropping way back, throwing. Has a man in stride, already crossing the 20-yard line of the New York Giants. That was the big fullback, Thaddeus Bubba Rig.
It sure was. I mean, he certainly stands out over up there in that secondary room. I mean, surprised to see him as wide open as he was, being that big.
We'll use this guy in any formation here as a throw off the mark, incomplete. Gives us a good chance to mention this Giant defense. The defensive ends are Slappy Clappy and Marcus Kane. The linebackers, Brody White and the Joker. Those are 2 middle linebackers. The cornerbacks, William Simpson and Billy Millie. and the safeties, Esteban Jaquez and Cam Sadscat, as we've got second and 10 from the 18-yard line. Here is McAllister dropping back, throwing over the middle flag. You got to wonder if they're going to see some pass interference here. Let's get the call, DJ.
Certainly looked like it, yep.
Impeding the route, no doubt. And that will go, unfortunately, against Cam Sadscat, who we just called in that starting lineup. It is now first and goal for the Patriots. So on first down, lining up under center is McAllister. Here's the snap, drops back, good pocket to throw from. And he has his man. What efficiency on that drive. Marley Cush for the touchdown for the Patriots.
Yeah, that one's certainly not looking like a very Patriots-esque drive. More often than not, we see these guys dominate on the ground game early and often, but in this one, they decide to let Cannon McAllister's arm be the biggest factor in their offense on that first drive, and it certainly worked to great success.
Indeed, it did. That was a very efficient first drive. So with 6:22 remaining here in the opening quarter, it is the Patriots with a 7-zip lead. And you see, it only took 4 plays. They started from their 48-yard line. They moved 54 yards quickly to the end zone. Folks, we want to remind you, you can be a part of this American Football Association. You can certainly do your part in joining our Discord server and create your player. Get in touch with our GM and owner, Brady White, and we'll get you set up. You'll get drafted onto a team. Before you know it, you'll be out there on the gridiron. As that's Hawk with the run back to the 22-yard line. We didn't have a chance to on the first series. Let's call the Patriots defense out real quickly here. The defensive tackle is Doc McStuffins. The defensive end is O.J. Peppers. The linebackers Trey Ingram and Brandon Robbins. The cornerback is Trayvon Austin. The free safety, Joey Cronin. And the kicker, actually, Brody Pierre, who is the newest addition to the New England Patriots. As we have a run up the middle to Arnold Simpson, picks up 4.
You know, this is a Giants halfback room, Cam, that they're watching a ton of their games. I'd love to see get more involved. Whenever I think about this Giants squad, I think about Eric Alexander throwing the rock around, right? But they have some very solid backs here in New York. Like to see them get some momentum. Oh, man.
Oh, and just as soon as you say it's momentum for the Patriots, as it is an interception, snagging that one out of the air is number 24 for New England. You see the frustration on Eric Alexander as Ty Law come down with that one.
Yeah, I mean, very warranted, right? He's just mad at himself there. Just no reason to make that throw. Law was, spotted in a shallow zone on that side of the field. Kind of had an out and up route for the receiver there. Didn't even give it time to develop, through it way too soon.
And so just like that, it almost feels as if the Giants haven't been on the field at all. Patriots take back over as this is the big stepper who runs for 4 on first down. 2nd and 6 now coming up. Already in perfect field territory here for a field goal, at least.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, and maybe that's part of their decision to run at the start of this drive. We didn't see him implement it at all at the start of their last drive. The lack of length of field maybe designing the run here.
Another run by the big stepper. He just about breaks that last tackle. They do get him down around the knees and stop him short of the first. Big 3rd and 1 coming here, as that was William Simpson on the stop.
Cam, I'll tell you what, if any roster was up in a 3rd and 1, the Patriots are the team I am betting on to get it converted more often than not.
Yeah, that 2 running back tandem as well as the fullback back there, Thaddeus. And they go to Thaddeus Bubba Rig, 1 yard to gain. And he cuts upfield at just the right time, using him as a receiver in this game so far.
Yeah, and I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Had that huge completion that split the safeties on the prior drive that really put him into prime field, position, just about at the same range as they started this drive. And on that one, able to convert 3rd and short.
So 1st and goal outside the 6-yard line there for the Patriots, looking to go up 2 scores, 2 touchdowns if possible. And right now, everything going their way. The big stepper with another good solid run gets them closer to that goal line.
Yeah, you saw it again there. These Patriots more often than not in these past games likes to set up an I formation to get the big fullback out in front, but now he's set up at a tight end spot.
Here
Oh,
is
there he
the big
goes.
stepper, bounces out left
Oh, man.
side. A stiff arm to seal the deal, and the Patriots scored 2 touchdowns with still 4:20 remaining in the opening quarter.
Yeah, that one, for a second there was looking very congested to the side of the handoff, right? But thankfully for the Patriots, big number 71 able to get out in front, lay a great block, and that's really what gave the big stepper enough time to cut that jab step and make it to the outside like you saw in that last run.
Brody Pierre on to attempt the extra point, and it is good. So 14-0, the Patriots looking dominating up to this point. A little bit of celebration there on the sidelines, absolutely deservedly so. With 4:20 remaining here in the first, again, this is that same old song and dance that the Giants hate to find themselves in.
Yeah.
Down 2 scores with still a whole lot of time left in this ball game.
Yeah, like we had said, partner, whenever they get down early, it is very hard for them to find momentum to claw back into it. And I think a telltale of this game and how inconsistent both sides of the ball really have been for them. That 5-play 17-yard drive was the longest possession we have seen by either team today.
Yeah, that is a very jarring statistic in that fact, as now the Giants just want to be able to get a first down. Let's
Yeah.
put it that way. Small steps to begin with here. 1st and 10 on the 22. Here is Alexander going to throw again quickly and just, yeah, I get it. Trying to get rid of the ball, quickly release it, connect with sad neighbors over the middle, but every ball feels like it has a risk attached to it at the moment.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it was in double coverage, right? If it was lofted a bit more, Sad Neighbors might have had a chance to get it, but I mean, just a poorly timed ball and not the area of the field you want to throw to when there's two defenders there.
Clock stop 4:14. Here's a run.
Oh, there
As
we
the
go.
first bright spot of the day, there's Arnold Simpson. We have talked at length about this Giants backfield that we'd like to see more of them, and that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah, I mean, look at that cut. Bang. Just puts Joe, or that was, Joey Cronin, who is a very, very good safety on the knee there. A great juke maneuver that produced enough extra yardage after it to get if I'm not mistaken, their first down of the game.
Yeah, it is their first down of the game. They move out to the 34-yard line. Signs of progress for sure there for the New York Football Giants. Here's that quick throw
Oh, wow.
again and again off the mark. Just the connection not there as Austin is the intended target.
I mean, in Alexander's defense, they brought a ton of pressure, but those are the instances you have to take advantage of.
Yeah, indeed. 5 incompletions in a row, as well as the interception to go along with that. 2nd and 10. Play action rolling out into the face of pressure, but
Oh, wow.
it is stalled out, and it gives Malik Sadneighbors time to get downfield and for Alexander to find his man. What a throw.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, lofted it a little too high on the throw, maybe, but he's trying to keep it out of the hands of all the safeties. You could see them all stalking to the ball there. Joey Cronin, the first one in the area to make the hit after the catch. Certainly some life coming out of this Giants sideline now.
For Sadneighbors, that is highlight reel material.
Yeah.
As he's able to take that. They flip the field here, already now into Patriot territory, and a good run by Simpson on first down. There he is once more, picking up 8.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a great job hitting the right holes, but his offensive line as well, giving him some really nice, holes to run through so far in this drive.
So 2nd and 2, moving their way into field goal position here, but they want more than that. They need more than that. There's that quick step and a drop back throw, incomplete. Highly congested. Brandon Robinson, number 57, the middle linebacker, was in on the stop.
Yeah, they were trying to connect that to the fullback James White over the middle of the field, and there was just too many defenders in the area to attempt that. They were running a 3-4. You had two very solid linebackers playing zone in that spot. Very risky.
Big third down coming here. Emmett Ellis in motion. It's a
Oh,
handoff,
wow.
and they read that like a well-read book. That's Simpson, who is decked for a 2 yard loss and now brings up 4th and 5.
I mean, we've seen the Giants on this drive continue to do those outside runs. The Patriots, a smart defense, they send their linebacker around the edge and just seals it up perfectly.
Here's a 46-yard field goal attempt, and I believe that is horribly off the mark.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have seen some special teams woes out of the Giants, and that one never had a chance. So that beautiful drive, they have to
All
come
for
away
naught.
with no points.
Yeah, I mean, all for naught. You got to capitalize when you have the ability to get points. I mean, obviously, it keeps you off out of the scoring column, right? But that's also, it's like poking a hole in a balloon, right? Just deflating all of the air you had in it because what was all that for if you weren't able to score out of it?
And you know what happens now? They would have been better off punting it, pinning
Yeah.
them deep, because they've got the Patriots. That is really good field position here. McAllister throwing, tipped,
Oh, wow.
bobbled, and it's a late hit by Sadscat that really, if it hadn't been for that, I believe Jebediah Butters would have been able to bring that one in.
Oh, I 100% agree. I mean, he had his chance to catch that football, and you saw him bobble it, and that's when the chance for that hit was given to him. Right? We've seen Butters make slip ups like this in the past. You got to clean those up.
2nd and 12. That is the big stepper, and it took literally bringing him down from the top of the jersey right there around the shoulder blades and just
Yeah,
pulling him backwards to get him in the park position, if you will. It's 3rd and 9.
they're going a lot of this single back overloaded O line here.
Trips to the right. It's a
Uh,
throw into traffic, and it's incomplete. The Giants defense able to stand up and do their job. William Simpson on the deflection.
yeah, tried again to connect with Marley Cush. It seems like this pass attack for the Patriots is very one dimensional right now. We see them continuing to try and connect with these seam routes over the middle. We've only seen them throw one ball anywhere else, and that was that flat to Bubba Rig earlier on that third down attempt. Right, so maybe switch things up in the passing game, or like we talked about earlier, rely on your run game like you've done all season.
Yeah, indeed. Great special teams work there. That's a beauty of a punt, and
Yeah.
then great tackling to follow. It pits the Giants back on the 21-yard line. And now, again, still, they got a little bit of offensive momentum on their side here, DJ, but they're still down 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
So we've got Emmett Ellis motioning out to the right side, looking that way, throws incomplete. That was a really good defense there. In fact, it was Law who has the pick from earlier today.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going to see the splits here for Eric Alexander. 8 throws, only one completion. That completion was a huge one for a good sum of yardage that almost makes it seem like he's completed a few more than he has. But the numbers certainly skewed a little bit. But yeah, you got to stop throwing it Law's way. He is all over the football right now.
Yeah, not a guy that you want to pick on at all. Here's the snap. Alexander throws this time
Oh,
into a
goodness.
a triage of Patriot defenders, taps that away, and it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at it from the top-down view. Of course, it's much different being behind that offensive line while pressure's coming at you. Or you got to find somewhere else to throw the football. Way too many defenders in the area there.
So 3rd down, big play once again here. Steps up, throws, tipped, and incomplete. Lucky it wasn't intercepted. There was Law again. The
Yep.
Giants will have to punt.
Yeah, this almost feels like an instance where Eric Alexander isn't properly making his reads, right? Because I was watching on the last few plays to see it, see if we could give him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're bringing extra pressure. Maybe they're forcing these errant throws out of him, and they aren't, right? I mean, they're setting a normal amount of pressure up front. It just seems like he is forcing it to one target or one route in a specific play over the middle, trying to attack it, and it's just not working in his favor.
No, it's not. And another good return for the New England Patriots. They will start in Giant territory at the 49-yard line with a minute 23 remaining here in a first quarter that has already seen its fair share of action. Under center goes McAllister. Drops back quickly, releases it. That is a perfect response to what we've seen the Giants trying to do. Coming up with at that time is Clay Razor, the tight end.
Yeah, I mean, Certainly, I mean, you're exactly right, Cam. That looked like a Giants play through and through. You threw it into a sea of defenders, but somehow for the Patriots, it was able to be brought down.
And McAllister, doing that thing, that quick, that's not even a three-step drop. Would we
Yeah,
even consider that a two-step drop? I mean, he
like
pretty
he
much
takes
just,
it and throws it. Yeah.
yeah, raises up under center and just chucks it as it's a 2-yard gain there, as that is Brody White making the stop on 2nd and 8 now on the way.
I'll tell you what, Cam. This may be the longest first quarter I've ever been a part of. It feels like we've played three.
Yeah, it certainly does. And like we said, it's been action packed from the get go. Here's a delay handoff, a draw up the middle, as that is the big stepper. 23 on 23. It's Esteban Jaquez who makes the stop.
Yeah, coming up from his safety spot. That's what you need if you're the Giants. Pack extra people in the box. You know they want to run. You see them lined up in the eye. Definitely a chance you see it here.
We see on 3rd and 9, they run
Wow.
it. And New York gives up the first down. Totally didn't expect that on the 3rd and long.
Yeah, I mean, great play calling there. The Patriots know that their pass game has struggled a little bit tonight, so go with what works. They sent Bubba through the whole first. He blocked the linebacker and gave the big stepper enough time to get to that second level.
At the end of quarter number 1, the Patriots lead the Giants 14-0. This is the American Football Association on YouTube. Cameron and DJ here with you as always on the call, and it is a pleasure to be here in the Meadowlands. So far, it's been a Patriots dominated first quarter. We start the second with them already in field goal territory and a fresh set of downs after a completion on, or a completed third down conversion, we'll say, a big run on third down to do it. There's a throw. It is complete to number 15, Kool-Aid, who reels it in for 9.
There we go. That's more of the Patriots passing we're used to seeing, connecting with the hitch route right close to the first down marker, allowing them to set up an eye for him and run it right down the throat of the defense.
2nd and 1 with a man in motion. I believe that is Quinchester Baggins down to the bottom of the screen. Toss play. Big stepper pops it out left side towards the sidelines, picks up the first down, and is tackled.
Yeah, like we had mentioned, right? I mean, usually the game plan we see from the Patriots when they pass on early downs is to make it a second and third or short, right? Just to
Yeah.
make sure that they can run successfully and gain the extra yardage.
There
Oh,
is
what a hit.
the big stepper taking a big hit, but not before he picks up a 7-yard gain. And I believe that was Sad Scat taking
Yeah, it
a little bit of
was.
frustration out.
Yeah, it was, and that was a leveled hit. I mean, it was like Newton's law of motion. As soon as he made contact, stopped in his tracks.
An unstoppable force meets an immovable object, I believe, is
Oh,
what
there
that's
we go.
called.
Oh
There
yeah,
is the big stepper again, though this time he's able to get on the move and gets close to the goal line, picks up the 1st and goal.
yeah. There we go. Now this is where the Patriots thrive, right? They're gonna give. It's gonna be a run. Everybody knows it is. At this point in the game, it could go anywhere, though. They've been successful running it to all parts of the field.
Keep your eye on the big stepper who moves from the line back offset of McAllister, and it's the defense. Brody White jamming the gaps up the middle makes the stop.
I like the play call attempt. They had Bubba at the tight end spot, moved him back to have a loaded backfield, try and mess up the opposition on where the ball's going to go, but just didn't work out.
2nd and goal. Toss play right side the big stepper. He
Uh,
is absolutely swarmed and actually will lose a couple of yards. Good defense down here along the goal line for the Giants. They have the Patriots in a 3rd-and-goal situation.
yeah, they're trying to let their shifty back go to the outside and slip off a tackle or two and make it, through the outside. I'd like to see a run up the middle, though.
Yeah, up the middle they try to go. The big stepper tries to reverse course, and it's Esteban Jaquez who, again, second straight play that goes for a loss, and the Giants defense able to hold and do their job. Here comes the field goal unit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if it's up and good for Brody Pierre, you will have a 3 possession lead. But Cam, I just can't agree with the play calling there at the end zone.
Yeah, as Brody Pierre tacks on 3 points. The kick is good. A 12-play, 46-yard drive. Took 4 minutes and 11 seconds. A really lengthy drive at that. Now let's go back to that, DJ, talking about the play calling. Let me get you to interject here. What would you have liked to have seen done in that situation if you're calling?
Well, I'll tell you what, you have the big stepper who's a great back. He went basically that whole length of the field and did so in great fashion. But you also have like a 300-pound truck in your backfield that you can just give it to on a fullback dive and let him gain a half yard,
Hmm.
right? They're right on the half-yard line. Maybe just punch it up the middle instead of trying to get cute, do the pitches, the outside runs. And we saw it not work in their favor. Maybe something to think about going forward. But, of course, it still resulted in points and extends their lead a bit.
It does extend the lead. You do feel like it could be a small silver lining though for the Giants, the
Yeah.
fact that they were
Oh,
not
for
able to,
sure.
yeah, not able to score that third touchdown just yet. As ooh, another shimmy and shake once more by Arnold Simpson, and I'm going to say it again. I've said it a lot this year. Get this guy the football more often.
Yeah, he's certainly taking his opportunities and running with them, literally.
And that will only help in aiding Eric Alexander and what he is
Yeah.
trying to do. Then maybe don't have to rely on him so much. Here's shotgun, second and two, pitch out lifts, and it's back to what you were talking about with the Patriots, DJ. Don't get too clever. Just keep it simple, stupid, as the
Yep.
phrase goes.
Yep.
KISS, right?
Yep.
And just run it up the middle.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need that far to go. Whenever you're pitching it like that, you are literally giving yourself 3 or 4 yards to gain rather than just one or two handing it off.
Alexander to throw, and once again, what started out again kind of promising there falls by the wayside, intended for Emmett Ellis, and the punting unit once again on 4th and 4. And boy, these Giants cannot stay on the field today at all to save their lives, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're going to need to get some icy hot for the punter here because he is working.
Yeah, that leg is going to get wore out and quickly. Another thing that's going to get wore out, that's a pretty good punt, fielded at the 25. But another thing that's going to get wore out, this Giants defense. They have
Yeah.
literally spent, I would estimate, 80% of the game thus far out on the field in playing time.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen one drive for them go the length of the field, and it didn't even result in points. And the majority of the yards gained on that drive were on one play over the middle. So, really, not a whole lot of time for this defense to take a break.
Nope, nope. You'll start to see them there with the oxygen masks on the sideline trying to catch their breath real quick before they got to go back out there. And again, though, there they are making a big play as McAllister was trying to connect with Kool-Aid and just couldn't do it thanks to the defense.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in the game, the Giants still have life in this football game, right? Maybe they haven't shown it that they can take advantage of the opportunity they have, but the thing keeping them in this ball game is their defense. With how often the Patriots have had the ball in the field position they've had the ball in, it could easily be a 28-0 ball game right now, but their defense is doing all they can.
We've talked about that quite a bit this
Yeah.
season, how the Giants' defenses have at times been their best offense. And they have come up with a lot of plays to keep them in a lot of games. Here's another throw, and there it is again. That's
Man.
Sad Scat who knocks the ball loose on what we thought was going to be a sure completion. And it's 3rd and 10.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that exact same song and dance earlier with Jebediah Butters. And man, I mean, two drops on, I'm no receiver. I'm a linebacker at heart, and I'm a defender at heart, really. But linebacker, safety, whatever it may be. But I feel like that hits you in the hands. It's a great throw. You got to pull that in.
3rd down. Here's McAllister unloading, going for it all. There's
Oh,
the
there we go.
interception. The defense, William Simpson.
Oh,
Oh, comes back
wow.
and gets a great run back all the way down to the Patriot 33-yard line. And what did I say, DJ? This defense sometimes is the best offense for New York, and they do it again.
Man, partner, I'll tell you what, we need a petition for the Giants or at least the fans for the Giants need a petition to put this guy at the wide receiver spot. Look at him go. That's their biggest, run after catch we've seen for the Giants all day. And it was a defender going the other way. Cannon McAllister just throwing way too risky of a ball there. I guess underestimated the speed of William Simpson to be able to haul that in.
Well, how about that grab by William Simpson, climbing the ladder
Yeah.
in beautiful fashion and snags it away, gives McAllister his first inerrant throw, really, of the day. Here's Alexander, gives it to Simpson,
Yeesh.
and Nothing. Back to the line,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, the Patriots are setting up. It seems like it's either very run support heavy or very coverage heavy. And this is one of those sets where they just send their linebackers around the edge and try and tackle them off an offside run.
Hitch route, pass is complete. Coming back for it was Emmett Ellis, who gets his first catch of the day. Brings up 3rd and 5 now, and I don't think we need to say much about how important this play is for New York on this side of the field.
Yeah, I mean they need something in their favor at this point.
Here is him. I'm sorry, that is Alexander who steps up and throws the floater to Sad Neighbors, trying to draw a flag. Looks like incomplete, unfortunately, and to no avail.
Yeah, Joey Cronin involved on the play. A 37 was also out there, and they will settle with the 45-yarder. They missed from shorter earlier. Interesting decision.
This time from the left hash mark. Here's the snap, the hold, the kick.
Oh, there we
It
go.
has a better angle, and it is good. So Bryant is able to get 3 points on the board. Points off turnover. Still, the drive lasted less than a minute, but thanks to that interception by William Simpson, they are in scoring range, and now no longer goose eggs on the board.
Yeah, 4 plays, 5 yards gained in total. That's all to the thank you of William Simpson. I mean, of course, you want more than a field goal whenever you're getting, I believe, the best field position that the Giants have had all night. That was their best opportunity to score. I mean, they do get some points, and you cut it to a 2 touchdown game now. You
Yeah,
need a few
indeed
more of
you
those
do.
interceptions.
Yeah, take a look at the possessions for the Patriots. There's early in the game, 2 touchdowns. Since then, it's been a punt, a field goal, and now an interception. So
Mm.
the Giants defense doing what the Giants defense can do, and that is kind of get wise to this play scheme and start to
Yeah.
crack down.
Yeah, I mean, especially since the Patriots haven't tried to adjust back to their normal play style. They just keep throwing it.
And this time they do. Oh, a little bit of congestion in the backfield slows up the big stepper as he ran into Jebediah Butters and only gets a yard out of it.
Yeah, not what you'd like to see from a run attack that is usually known as the best in the league. Some miscommunication there in the backfield of New England.
2nd and 9. Offset I. You got Bubba Rig back there blocking. McAllister going to throw off
Oh
the
man.
hands of the intended receiver who was Marley Cush. That's a couple of drops going his way today. 3rd and 9.
Yeah, several drops here for New England. This is not what we are used to seeing with an offense that is very, very solid. There you can see the stat: 4 incompletions in a row, one of which obviously the interception the other way.
And for McAllister, kind of uncharacteristically, about 4 incompletions in a row here. Here's a throw
Oh,
almost intercepted, as that was kind of like playing hot potato with it, wasn't
well,
it? Batted up in the air. It does fall incomplete.
well, I don't know if this is a plus or a negative, and maybe I'll get some flack for saying this here, partner. But it seems like no one can catch passes coming from Cannon McAllister in this game because that one should have been taken the other way.
Yep, and it does seem that way. It's been a difficulty connecting with receivers of either jersey at this point in the game as Jermaine Hawk gets the run back out to the 42-yard line. 2:19 remaining in the second. So a break in the weather for the Giants, if you will. Skies have opened up. It's blue, crystal clear skies. Away go the clouds. With 2:19 remaining, DJ, they've got a chance to put some points on the board and get closer here.
Yeah, I need to take advantage of it for sure.
Alexander with good protection
Oh my
throws the
goodness.
interception, throws it away into the arms of Trayvon Austin, and the frustration continues to mount.
Yeah, I mean it's painted all over his face. You get solid field position again. You have a chance to make a play for your offense and give your defense a break. And now a squad that just made a very, very nice stop against an offense that is very good here in the AFA is now immediately jogging back onto the field after a one-play break.
Hot take here, DJ. Going to be just ask you to be real candid with me. How frustrating is that if you're the defense of the Giants? What are you feeling right now?
I mean, you certainly some frustration. I mean, I can only imagine being in that spot as a defender myself, but I mean, I'm almost frustrated for them, right? They're playing their hearts out there, and I mean, constantly being brought back onto the field is just going to tire them out. A very much needed 2 minute warning incoming for them.
Indeed, gives the Giants defense a chance to catch their breath. You're watching the AFA on YouTube. We welcome you back here to start the final 2 minutes of the second quarter. Good field position here for the Patriots to try to extend their lead. There's the big stepper, spinning like a spin cycle in a washing machine, picks up the first down.
Yeah, there we go. Getting back into the swing of things and off direction run here for the big stepper. And they're doing a lot of interesting concepts where they're putting Bubba Rig out at the tight end and they try and do a pull block and bring him back into the middle. But I mean, they've tried that with multiple receivers, and that's what's causing miscommunication in their backfield, trying to be too cute running the ball like we talked about earlier, partner.
Shotgun first and 10, and it's a draw. Up the middle with the big stepper. Maybe gets two. We've got about 90 seconds remaining in the half.
Another interesting thing, Cam, that I wanted to note is, we see the Patriots be so good because they utilize their two-headed backfield so well, right? We have not seen Thaddeus Bubbery get a single handoff in this game.
No, not at all. And Matt Jackson has been completely non existent up to this
Yeah.
point. 2nd and 8. Here is McAllister with a good pocket, throws
Oh,
into
there we go.
traffic, but he connects as he finds Quinchester Baggins, the tight end.
His first target of the game, if I'm not mistaken, and able to pull it in. Very reliable target here for McAllister.
49 seconds and counting. The big stepper this time goes back 2 yards. Good prowess by the New York defense.
Yeah, I mean, that one was just shut down before it could even start.
McAllister going to throw, going for it all off the hands of Marley Cush. That sets up a 3rd and long situation.
I mean, you just got to lead it out more in front. You're going to see here it's behind him. He has to turn his hips and try and play backwards. He tries to pull it in with the defender right there in his face. You just got to connect better if you're the QB there.
Well, you know something? That could have easily went to William Simpson, the cornerback
Yep.
for the Giants. As it is 3rd and 12. Big play coming here for the Patriots and for the Giants defense, looking to make a stop. Play action, throwing, and it's a touchdown. Threading the needle to find Marley Cush, and they punch it in for 6.
There we go. They're not going to let that opportunity go twice because the last one should have been caught for a score, or at the very least a first down. So they go back to the well, they attack the seam, and Cush is able to haul it in through a very, very small hole. That throw was harder than the previous, Cam, and we saw them take advantage of it.
Indeed, as Pierre's extra point is good, and just before the half, the Patriots do what great football teams are able to do, capitalize inside that 2-minute window and put points on the board. The score now 24-3 in favor of the Patriots.
Yeah, like we talked about early on, it's just so difficult for these Giants to get out of these early holes, and it doesn't help whenever the opposing team is just helping you dig that hole deeper.
And there's the telltale sign. 2 interceptions, 2 punts, a missed field goal, and they do get the 1 field goal there on the 4-play, 5-yard drive.
Yep.
And that has really been about all there's been positive to say today for this Giants offense, unfortunately. But there is a chance here to, again, try to take 28 seconds here and see what you can do with it. Pressure coming. They just hand it off. Simpson's able to get back to the line. Nothing more. And that may be all that we see of the Giants really in this half.
Yeah, seems like they're happy just conceding this one, and I don't blame them.
10 seconds and counting before they head to the locker rooms, and Alexander will try to throw one. It's incomplete, so we'll get at least one more play out of it. It was intended for the big tight end, Ace Millie.
Well, I mean, it seemed like they were happy going to half. Then they throw, and now the time stops, so might as well go for something.
3rd and 10. Trips to the right. Here is Alexander. Gonna drop back, pressure in his face. He throws the ball tipped up in the air, and would you believe it? The clock stops at 1. So we will get a punt out of this, 4th and 10. You know, I'm going to say this. That tells you how quick, I guess, well, what's the right word? A broadcaster having trouble finding the words, excuse me. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that's how quick a play is over and done with for the Giants today. There's
Yeah.
no time being taken off the clock in anything they do.
Yeah, I mean, especially whenever they decide to pass because it's so very few and far between that they get a completion.
And with that, we head to halftime. A one sided game up to this point, but it is the AFA after all. Anything can happen. The Patriots lead the Giants 24-3. We welcome you into the AFA halftime report. Cameron Duty here with you, as well as DJ Kilgannon. And of course, big thanks to our commissioner, Brady White, for putting on this party for us all to attend week after week. Time of possession, telltale sign, not to mention total yards in this game. Well, as we said, DJ, the Patriots so far on cruise control with a 3 touchdown lead.
Yeah, I mean, the classic tale of too much and not enough. The Patriots, they're playing a solid half of football right there that we just saw from them. Right, we saw a few mistakes here and there. They certainly weren't perfect by any means. I mean, maybe maybe this is harsh to say, or maybe this is the thought they had coming into it, but maybe trying out something new against a team that you could deem weaker based off of their record, right? So they're trying to change things up a little bit. They're passing more. They're sticking with the big stepper only for runs, right? And I mean, it's working, right? Not as well as we've seen them dominate in the past, but it helps that New York is really, really struggling.
Yeah, indeed. And of course, we take a look at some more snapshots of the half. Some of the players who have had big moments in this game. Good game for Brody Pierre as he has made his way onto this Patriots roster. But if you have a player to watch for in this second half, who you going with, DJ?
Mm-hmm. I mean, both sides of the football here, or excuse me, both teams here, I should say. I mean, if you're the Giants, I would love to see, Emmett Ellis explode for a big catch or two, right? I would say Arnold Simpson. I would like to see him continue what has been a really solid game, right? But I mean, they can't really afford to run a whole lot right now, right? They need some explosive receptions. And on the Patriots side of the ball, you know, I I'd like to see Quinchester Baggins get a lot more involved in the receiving game. I've only seen him get targeted once, and it was a big completion over the middle that he was able to pull in, and especially in a game where your receiving core has been very, very sloppy.
Yeah, indeed. As you see, still here in the halftime break, lots of action to cover. And you see Cush Marley, who to this point has had pretty good day, 2 touchdowns on the day. We welcome you back to the Meadowlands here at Giants Stadium as we start this second half of competition. The AFA on YouTube rolling on here under partly cloudy skies this afternoon in the Big Apple, and the Patriots will get the ball to start this third quarter.
Yeah, that's not good if you're a fan of the Big Blue.
No, that is the case. Here's the kick. This is just the second time we've seen a kick return by the Patriots in this game
Mm-hmm.
today. They run it back to the 20-yard line, and that is where they will set up shop.
Curious to see how they come out of the gate here, Cam. If they match their play style of the first half, or if they go more fundamental like we've seen them do in the past. That'll kind of be a quick sign of things to come here in the second half. I think.
Under center is McAllister. Bubba Rig in the backfield, the big stepper behind him. Bubba Rig blocking. Here's the throw. Complete out to the 40-yard line, as that is Jebediah Butters with a big time grab.
There we go. Bouncing back from what's been a very, a very sloppy. I feel like is the best word to use here for the day he's had. Actually able to hold on to that one. A great throw there from McAllister, hoping to fix things today for this offense. Be more consistent, if you will.
Yeah, indeed. As we now have 1st and 10. Here's the snap. McAllister throws. It's tipped and incomplete. Good coverage by the Giants.
Yeah, there we go. The defense of the Giants continuing what has been a very, very fundamental day for this team. They need to keep making plays just like that one if they're going to have any hope of this ball game. Get off the field early and often.
Second and 10 for these New England Patriots who are trying to keep up with the top ranked team here in the AFA up to this point, the Oakland Raiders, with a 7-2 record. Another pickup here on second down. Pretty good carry. Brings up 3rd and 5.
Yeah, we've seen them run on third and longer here tonight. Wouldn't be shocked if we saw another one here, but they do have three wide.
What was it? 3rd and 9 earlier in this game they converted from. Incredible. Here is a big defensive play. The big man for the Giants able to get in there, the linebacker, and swat that thing down, DJ Kilgannon. That's a big stop. Again, this defense still showing up every play.
Yeah, it sure is, partner. They are going to fight and fight hard until that final bell sounds. And they are going to have a chance for their offense to do something now. And I mean, they need to keep their defense off the field here for a while. I feel like this drive is going to be crucial for the rest of this game. Get something well sustained here if you're the Giants offense.
And they will start from their 25-yard line. You know, DJ, how different this game will look if they can find their way into the end zone. A 2-touchdown game, that tightens things up a little bit, and the complexion really does look a lot different than what it does at the moment. So we'll see what they can do. They start from the 25. Here is Alexander. Throws the interception, the third one of the day. And I don't know if anybody's going to catch him. They do get him down at the 6-yard line. But that is a real momentum buster for the New York Giants. That's Rodney Harrison.
If I'm not mistaken, the last phrase I said before that play was called is that the Giants offense needed a well-sustained drive to give their defense a break. And here we are with the Giants defense back on the field inside their own 10-yard line. Could it get much worse if you're a defensive player for the Giants?
Not quite. Quite literally, maybe the most one-sided game that I've seen yet in the AFA. The Patriots are just dominating. Give credit to the Patriots for just the work that they're putting in. That's the big stepper. Gets close to the end zone, but just short. He's hungry for that touchdown today.
Yeah, absolutely. Got another interesting stat for you here, buddy. After this here set of downs here, next position shift, we'll talk about the scoring output for both of these teams because it's a drastic change.
Absolutely, Bubba Rigg back in the backfield, the block, but no need. It's the big stepper who takes it on his own, runs right side and into the promised land. 30-3 now the score. Patriots over the Giants.
Yep, they went back to that play call, shifted Bubba Rigg into the backfield to maybe fool this defense a little bit, and then they ran it to the opposite side with Bubba Rigg, with the big stepper. Great play call, good design there to get another touchdown on the board. First rushing touchdown of the day, surprisingly enough, here for the Patriots.
And with that, as we said, this extra point right here by Brody Pierre will make this a 31-3 game with 6:13 remaining in the third quarter. The drive summary, well, you don't need much. 2 plays, 6 yards. When you get that big defensive, the interception by Harrison and the run back down to the 6-yard line, that sets you up for success.
Yeah, absolutely. And that stat I was talking about prior to that touchdown play there, Cam, if you look at the point differential is a big thing. A hidden stat that not a whole lot of people talk about, right? The Giants in their games have been -62, and for fans watching that aren't as, up to date with stats and what that may mean is points scored for the Giants is 168. Points allowed is 230. So they have allowed 62 more points than they have scored in their game. The Patriots are positive 43. That's the best in the entire league. The Giants, the worst in the league by a country mile.
As there's another big Actually, I was going to say it was a big defensive effort, but I believe that actually was just a little bit of confusion there. Ace Millie and Emmett Ellis there in the same vicinity, and neither one could come up with it. And Alexander again on an incompletion streak here, looking to snap that.
Yeah, got to clean that up if you're fighting back in this ball game. I mean, you're playing down 28 points. You need to pass. Oh
Alexander
my
throws
goodness.
the interception again. Oh man, and it just continues to get ugly here. Was that Law once more? I think he got him again.
Yeah, I mean, he's just continuing what has been such a sensational day. Two interceptions. If it wasn't him, it was going to be that safety lurking over the top. And Cam, I'll tell you what, I feel like the defense for the Giants here are just, I don't even know what the right word is to describe how I would feel if I was a member of that defense.
Well, I can think of
Infuriated.
it. Yeah, I was going to say can't say it, but I can think of it.
Yeah, yeah.
As here's a throw. They're going to say Butter is able to bring that one down in bounds. So a quick 4 yard pickup. But yeah, you got to believe that there's some harsh words maybe being said on that sideline.
Yeah, because at this point, they will challenge. I mean,
Hmm.
not a
Well, I
huge
had
play.
wondered.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Certainly looked close. Guess we'll get another look at it.
it felt like it was worth the challenge, and then you get the Giants right now. They're just looking for any sort of break they can possibly get, and
Yeah.
so we'll see what they can come up with here as we go under the hood.
Clean pocket there.
I
Uh,
think it may be
might
out.
have got one in. We'll
Of course,
see.
in college football, right? You get
Mhm.
1 foot's okay. In the pros, not so
Not
much.
so much. Yeah.
The ruling on the field is overturned. New York not charged a timeout, and the defense has something to celebrate for a moment. So 2nd and 10. 5:57 remaining here in the third. Offensive plays. Look at this, DJ. 43 plays,
Wow.
and we've still got quarter and a half to go.
Yeah, I mean they have just been dominating playtime.
Here once more is the big stepper. Now you start to run it and wear them out. Picks up
Hmm.
5, so third and short coming.
Yeah, looking a little bit more like their usual selves with a one-man backfield now, though, rather than their usual two. And yeah, I mean that's exactly what you need. Just chew as much time off the clock as possible.
Two receivers lined up to the left side, off the hands of the big stepper, just kind of deflected off that left hand there. And the Giants will catch a break. The Patriots will have to punt it away.
Yeah, and that would have been a first down if the big stepper was able to pull that in. Like we'd mentioned many times today, that's a play you have to take advantage of. That continues your drive, right? Allows you to get more time off the clock, right? But what it really does is it gives this Giants defense a break. And like we talked about earlier, how long will that break be? Will it be 30 seconds? Will Eric Alexander come out and throw another pick? Who knows? It's up for jury, and the possibility of it happening almost feels like 50% at this point, which is crazy to say. But I mean, their defense getting rest is important, and you need your offense to mesh at some point.
So 4 interceptions on the day for Eric Alexander. He wisely gives it to his halfback, who unfortunately can't get much. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage before the Joker makes the tackle.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about at half, right? Like to see the run game going for the Giants. It's been a bright spot in what's been a very weak team, but you can only run so much.
Here's a throw. Another interception. And they went back
Wow.
and tested Ty Law again.
Yeah, I mean, Ty Law is going to be in the nightmares of Eric Alexander tonight. I don't think it's up for any debate. I mean, it looked like he was running the route the whole time. They are just toying with him now.
And so the Patriots, again, getting the ball on the 13-yard line with 5:01 remaining here in the third with another chance to put some points on the board. As here is McAllister. Throws one to the back of the end zone. It's a touchdown.
Wow.
Celebration time for Jebediah Butters.
Yeah, I mean, Jebediah Butters, after what was a very rough start, is really showing up in a big way for these Patriots in the second half. A great throw leading it past the corner and just out far enough for Butters to get his hands on it.
And there's really not one negative thing you could say about the Giants defense at this point.
Yeah, no, I mean, they're so exhausted. They trot back onto the field, almost feeling defeated at this point, right? And it takes is one play by Jebediah Butters, who's well rested. He's had some plays to take a breath. These receivers could run all day, and it'd be hard to tire them out. One route where he burns a receiver, and that's it, touchdown.
Yeah, that's all it takes. 4:57 still remaining here in this third quarter as we have got a return now here. Brought out to the 29-yard line by the Giants. Their return man there. A lot of return yards on the day, no doubt, for New York to this point. They've been receiving quite a few kickoffs due to the Patriots' dominant day in the office. Eric Alexander here still scratching his head, trying to put the missing pieces of the puzzle together. Shotgun formation, one man flank to the left of you, man. It is a toss to that man.
Oh,
Wrapped
man.
up and wrangled immediately in the backfield. Arnold Simpson. I'm going to have to take a stopwatch, DJ, and just time how short these actual plays are from the snap to the end of the play, to the whistle blows.
Yeah, wouldn't be a whole lot of time, I'm sure. And we're seeing that big number 50 get involved in a lot of these tackles for loss, especially on that pitch. It's like he's been designated to stop it almost.
Yeah, he's just kind of a magnet, coming
Oh,
towards
man.
them and tipped. That was almost another dangerous pass. A would-be interception there that falls to the ground.
Yeah, Brandon Robinson almost had a chance to take that the other way. Look at these splits here. Oh, my goodness. What is that? 21 passes with 2 completions.
Two completions, and
That is just pitiful.
you don't it's certainly not our job in the booth to down a
Yeah.
player, and that's certainly not the reason for doing that. But clearly, with this offensive unit as a whole for the Giants, they're going to have to find something here this upcoming offseason to clean up. There's a good completion finally by Tino Austin, a 1st and 10, and
Oh,
just as
great.
soon. Oh man! As soon as you get a big play by a big playmaker, down goes Austin.
Yeah, he is in some pain, clearly.
Oh, you hate to see that too.
Yeah.
Finally getting an opportunity to honestly feels like maybe break out and make a play for the first time today, and you'll see
Yeah.
him hobble off the wore out turf here. But it's a good time to remind everybody, folks, that as a player in the AFA, you are just out for the duration of the game. It does
Yeah.
not carry over into weeks at a time. If you don't come back during the game, you'll come back next week. Here
Yep.
is a shotgun and then a handoff up the middle to, to Arnold Simpson, who picks up 4.
I will say something, Cam, in the defense of Eric Alexander, right? It's something you touched on specifically early on in this game, is that if they get their run game more involved, that's only going to help him out. And the run game really hasn't been, we've seen some bright spots here and there, but it's nothing to write home about, right? As they get wrangled down for, looks like a gain of 1 or 2 there. And
Yeah, and
yeah,
I
like you had
think
said, it's just not giving him any help.
yeah, you're exactly right, DJ. And as we kind of dive into this. And like I said, maybe we're gonna, with some time on the clock and the game, easily at hand here for the Patriots, we can start to ask some of these questions, which I will do after this 3rd and 5 play. A little pitch,
Oh, there we go.
good hustle by Simpson to get the first down. But let me ask you: is this potential victory for the Patriots today more of an indicator of how dangerous the Patriots are, or just how much work the Giants have to do?
I would say that I'll answer you in a two-parter here. The first one being I think it does spell trouble for New York. I feel like this is a game that you're going to have to seriously look at in the future when it comes to playing in the postseason because every team will make it, right? And
Yeah.
specifically because this Patriots defense hasn't been too extraordinary, up until this point. And now this leads me into the second part of my question. The Patriots defense has shown up. I mean, they
Yeah.
are dominating right now. Multiple interceptions. They're just picking at. They're like vultures picking off of Eric Alexander right now, literally picking the balls off. And I mean, that's certainly something you could look at in this game. But I don't know about you, Cam, but I feel like their offense has. I don't know if underwhelming is the word that comes to mind,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know if that's the right word. It feels like this is a completely defense dominated game for New England.
Yeah, it does feel that way. It feels like they've been fortunate enough to get some breaks there,
Yep.
paved by the defense to them as that pass on third down is incomplete. And I don't think it's too early to start going for it here on fourth down. I don't think we'll see it, but
Yep.
hey, down 35. I think on this side of the field you do take a stab at it, but they will punt
Yep.
it away.
And Cam, another thought that comes to mind is if we were seeing the Patriots offense that we have seen in other games where they're the leading point differential team in the league with only 5 wins and they still lead in that category over the Raiders, a team that have 7 wins, and we're
Yeah.
still putting up more total points than them, right? If we were seeing that same offense mixed with how this defense is playing, I think they'd be the best team in the AFA.
Yeah, and you made a good point as we start to look towards playoff football and what's to come. As we see an empty set here, McAllister going to throw,
Oh, wow.
tipped, and still able to bring it in. Great concentration. That was Butters, who about did the same thing earlier in this game. This time he follows through.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, he's really coming back in a big way and proving, me wrong specifically. Gave him a lot of flack early on for the drops, and there's the splits for McAllister. Not a tremendous day either, but enough with the field position they've been given more often than not tonight.
Yeah, indeed. Here's another quick throw over the middle, finding Thaddeus Bubba Rig for yet another first down. The fullback turned wide receiver today picks
Yeah,
up another.
clearly. Yeah, it's all he's been doing, blocking and catching, but he's been attacking the seam very well.
I'll also tell you this, DJ. We'll quickly get back to the playoff talk, which I'm certainly attempting to get into as we see another play by the big step for their 7 yard run. It feels like the Patriots maybe even looked at this as a game to experiment, doesn't
Yeah,
it? I mean,
yep.
some of the formations we've seen, Bubba Rig going out as a wideout, more passing than running.
Yep.
Touch on that for a minute, DJ.
Yeah, and yeah, I completely agree with you. If you remember earlier, you're pulling back my point, and I completely agree with you. Is the point that you could say it's almost like playing against a weaker team, if you will. You see them at the bottom of the standings, right? So you're like, you know what, playoffs are on the horizon. I might as well test some things while I have a chance, right? So
Yeah.
I completely agree with you.
The big stepper does fall forward for another first down. We are 30 seconds away from the start of the fourth quarter. Playoffs. That is the big topic as we're quickly approaching the postseason and the first ever season of the AFA. And that's a bad decision as the big stepper loses three. But you've got obviously you mentioned it, 4 teams in this inaugural season. All 4 are going to make it into the postseason. So as rough as things have been today for the Giants, they could still turn it around. It'll take
Yep.
a lot, but because of the 4 team entry, they'll be there while you
Yep.
have other
Oh
teams.
man.
Oh, that's a hit at the end. Now we see the flag come out. Face mask. Yeah, got a little brutal there. The defense making the infraction on Brody
There's that
White, but
frustration.
yep, there it is again. So, to this playoff talk, as we'll get ready and transition just straight through the third into the fourth here. You're watching the AFA on YouTube. With that being said, front runners, obviously it's got to go to Oakland. And of course, the Patriots here. They look like the 2 to get to the top,
Yep.
but it's amazing. 4 teams, anybody still with the shot. Like we said, even the Giants today.
Yep.
As we see a run out past the 40, a 2 yard gain. So DJ, how do you feel about that? Do you um as a team, like you said, maybe you take these last couple of weeks of the season and start experimenting before you head into win or go home.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. It certainly opened up a new way that I'm looking at this Patriots squad. We've never seen their defense show up this big in a game, right? Their defense has been sensational. right? But also in saying that, this has really shown some flaws in their offense that teams could exploit come playoff time, right?
Yeah,
So I think the best balance for them would be finding a way to get their old offense, or we see that two-headed backfield shine, find a
yeah.
way to mesh in with this defense they're showing off today. If they're able to do that successfully, I would pick them as the front runners to win the whole thing.
Oh man, that's a big take right there, DJ.
And
And
that's a
and
big
honestly,
if as well tied on to it. So,
but
take it with as much salt as you will.
as they run it on third down, and the defense gets a stop for the Giants, as they're now all about trying to wind this clock down. How about this? I'll pose this question because I do have, I think this is a good opportunity with the game in its final stages with the deciding. The only thing left to decide rather is the final score. We know the Patriots are going home with the victory, but let's consider this: could the Giants have, knowing that they're at the bottom of the food chain, if you will, and still with a playoff spot to be had, did they just come out today trying a different look, a different package that ultimately they now know they don't need to go back to?
I wish I could say they were, Cam, but I mean, in this game, it feels like the same song and dance we've seen for multiple weeks with this squad. That the pass game is lackluster as that one falls to the turf. The pass game is lackluster and they aren't running good enough or not enough, right? It feels like the
Yeah.
same song and dance. I wish I could say that this, is something different we haven't seen from them and they can bounce back. But it's hard to say that whenever, you aren't seeing much change or,
Yeah.
production increase week to week.
I'll tell you this. This was as we watch this throw by Alexander into a pile interception. Harrison again. We'll take a moment here to dissect this. For what is, I believe, our fifth interception of the day for Eric Alexander.
Yeah, I mean, just a day you got to wipe from your memory. I mean, he's stalking over the middle. You're trying to lead him into the middle of the field. You sail it just a little bit too high. If it wasn't him, it was going to be the other corner. Three
Yeah.
of them in the area on that throw. Just
Well,
just to help me ball.
that kind of goes back to the point that I had posed, DJ. You had mentioned that, the lackluster passing and lack of running. It's interesting as this ball is going to
Oh,
be called
oh my
loose, picked up
goodness!
by the big stepper. I got to wonder if
Wow.
that's not going to be challenged. For the moment, it stands the touchdown. I don't know if a football move was made. We'll get a good look here on the replay.
Yeah, so they're calling that Bubba Rig caught it, fumbled, and the big
Mm.
stepper picked it up. We're gonna call that some sort of crazy fumble rooski drama here. If they drew that up, go ahead and give them the chip now. They will see a challenge. Okay,
Yeah,
that'd be wild, wouldn't it?
it would be. It would be kind of just the only thing that this game lacked. and
Yeah,
now,
right.
and now it has it. So let's look and see what we've got here. The question is, did Thaddeus Bubba make enough of a football move for it to be considered a catch?
I don't think so, partner.
No, I don't think so. I think he was about 1 foot shy of that.
Yep.
And we will get the results of their findings. It is
Yep.
overturned as we had suspected. So New York is 2 for 2 on challenges today.
That I don't know if I've ever said this on a call, partner. This may be the first time I've seen a defense happy that a fumble got turned back the other way.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think today feels like it has been a day for
Yeah,
first.
this is some paradoxical kind of paranormal activity going on for sure.
And you never know what happens when you come to the Big Apple, and that just goes to show you. As we've seen another run here this time, that is the Big Stepper once more picks up one. My thought in saying that maybe the Giants were trying something a little bit different for them was the fact that they clearly abandoned the run. I mean, that felt like we've been wanting it more all year,
Hmm.
but they came in today with not even a thought of making the run game part of what they wanted to do. Now, there's an interception, second one of the day by McAllister, as that was William Simpson who makes the INT.
Yeah, Simpson. We talked about bright spots in this Giants team. William Simpson is that bright spot. 2 interceptions on the day, the only person to pick off McAllister at this point in the game. And
Yeah,
yeah, he's been sensational here for New York, doing everything he can.
indeed he has. So yeah, I mean, and we've got the other game this week, of course, that hangs, of course, in the balance, the 49ers and Raiders. It'll be interesting as we talk about the playoffs, and the 49ers are in a really interesting position as we see a throw hitch route complete, gain of 4. We look towards that game and what's to come in store for it. But honestly, you've got a 49ers team that's batting right around 500, right? A little, left of that. But they feel like they maybe could get on a roll and do something too. They feel like they've got the talent for it, as we
Yeah.
see Simpson wrapped up. Give me your thoughts on that as they play the top ranked team in the league with the Raiders.
Yeah, this is a game, for them that I think, it's going to be interesting because more often than not, when you look at a dominant team, it's, oh, this team, whenever they're at home, it's impossible to beat them, and things like that. The Raiders will be traveling to San Francisco, not a far trip for them at all, just stay in state to make a nice visit, right? But the Raiders are 4-0 on the road, Cam.
Yeah.
This is a team that has not lost in another team's house. They love playing spoiler. Their 2 losses on the season have both been at home. This is a team with a point differential of 28, the second best in the league. Of course, behind these Patriots we're seeing play right now, and they're also on a 2-game win streak to end out the season. So I think it's going to be a rough one for the 49ers, but that's a team that could explode on the ground on any given night, and I think that's what they'll need to do.
Yeah, indeed. It almost feels like, the question mark in the AFA right now to this point is who can get hot at just the right time. And,
Yeah.
you got to watch out. Those sleeper teams, they start getting it together at the end. You're looking at the Patriots, looking at the 49ers, who knows? And I think that's one of the fun points of this postseason. To bring it back to your point, back to this game, as we see a throw here, interference call, I believe, is incoming. But till we get the call, to bring it back to this game here, DJ, the Giants, if they lose today, which it looks inevitable, as we see defensive PI there, they will be 0-5 at home this season.
Yeah, I mean, not very often in any sort of, whether it be real football, simulation football, can you say that? And it's just a jarring stat. Now, I do have a question to raise for you, a little bit of curiosity for myself. And if you don't want to answer it outright, I completely understand, but I will still pose the question for yourself, the
Yeah.
viewers, and I will even give my answer as well. If you had to pick one team that you think could has the best shot of going all the way here in the AFA postseason once it'll get started here soon. Who are you deciding?
Well, I have no problem at all answering that question. I think as we see a second flag here, I think that everybody's going to look towards the Raiders, and I mean, I certainly understand why, and I certainly see why. Say, if offense can get it together, I think it could easily be the New England Patriots with this
Yeah,
defense. All it takes is a couple tweaks on the offense, and I think I'm going to put my money on them to make a late game or late season run at it.
yeah, yeah. I can completely share that sentiment. As like I said earlier, if they can get both of their offense back on track and their defense matched up to what we've seen earlier, things could be scary as Eric Alexander gets a scamper. It's interesting because there's one player here in the AFA. Oh man, nice play. That
Yeah,
makes this
good comeback.
question uh, interesting for me, and it's Brady White.
Yeah,
This guy has championship experience. We have seen him go into other leagues. Oh man, that was scary. That would have been another one there for the Patriots. And we've seen him in other leagues go and win the whole thing in a very similar 4-team playoff, just like this one, right? And I,
yes.
I could certainly see him doing it again.
I definitely agree that they are the front runners, and as you said, that experience with Brady White, that puts them at the forefront. I agree. I think to answer it. And I know it probably sounds very well, duh, based on the way the standings are right now. But, I do think in the end we are looking at a potential Patriots and Raiders championship matchup.
Yep.
Um, and it would be right in that regard. Now, the 49ers may have something else to say about it as it's 4th and 7, and we see the Giants coming here. But you're right. That 4 team playoff experience, Brady White experience over the years, got to be the front runner. Here is a throw on 4th down. The pass is complete. Picked up and a first down. Outstretching his arm there to the sticks is Malik Sadneighbors in what was a good play on a very tough day.
Yeah, I mean that one certainly looked close, but they will call it ahead of the chains. And nice throw out to the out route, and I don't know. That's close. I don't think we'll see a challenge, but it was 3rd down. Who knows? Maybe they'll throw the red laundry out there, but
Well, you know
they
what?
won't. There we go.
And my apologies on that. I thought that Sad Neighbors had enough to get the first.
Yeah.
Instead, it's the
Oh
Patriots.
wow.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought the Sad Neighbors did just enough, and now you start to see
Okay, I
the
see.
second string. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Forgive me on that, folks. That based on our angle on that play, I felt he had enough for that, but clearly on the six, a different viewpoint, different vantage there,
Hmm.
and the New England Patriots has their second string in here.
Yeah, it seems like they're just gonna try and run things out. Yeah, it looked close. I've been wrong so many times, and it wouldn't have shocked me if I was again. But that I was. I see what happened now. It took me a little bit. I was in slow motion, I think.
I was looking with you though, partner. And I was, we were kind of looking down the line, thinking kind of the same thing here. Here's a big run, 1st and 10. That is Falk now in on the carry. So yeah, full second string unit, and this defense allowed 262 yards in the game. But I'm going to say this: the fact that that's all that was allowed in a 38-3 game, that defense has been out there for 3/4 of this game.
Yeah, I completely share that sentiment with you, partner. I wouldn't be shocked in this game if that number was up to 400, 450, because, I mean,
Right.
it's just a one sided contest, but I mean, their defense did their job.
Yeah, indeed they did. We move our way close to the 2 minute warning here. On the ground on first down, that's going to be a loss of one, as of course the Giants still have their starters out there. Brody White still fighting, still clawing, loss of a yard.
This is a lot more of the Patriots we're used to seeing just continue to run. It's usually not with this personnel, though. Like you said, they've brought in the backups now. They still have everyone else in their starting roles, it seems, except for the quarterback in the back. But you still see Bubba Rig out there at the tight end getting some blocks. So, they just want to get some new feet in there, I guess.
Get them a chance to get some reps under center. Here is the 2 minute warning. We're 2 minutes away from a Patriots victory. Folks, you're watching the American Football Association on YouTube. Cameron Duty here with you, and I want to give a call. This is a good opportunity, some extra on air time, I guess, as this game is already decided. But a call to this staff of the AFA, Brady White, and the team that is continuing to be assembled. Of course, those of you in the Discord would know that the stats for each game has certainly been uploaded. A stats team has now been assembled. So this team or the staff of the AFA from very humble early beginnings, continuing to grow and flourish, and an attaboy to each and every person involved, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
As we see a timeout called for, it will bring up 4th down. So the Giants are still looking for their first touchdown of the day.
Yep.
Minute 53 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Down by 35 points. They want to take one more stab at it anyway, see if they can get a touchdown on the board. That would have to help the morale just a little bit, of course, for the offensive side. Here is some missed tackles, a good return out to the 40-yard line by Jermaine Hawk.
Yeah, it's going to be some solid field position. I mean, we've seen them return it a ton tonight. Doesn't have too many return yards on the day. Just shy of the 40 is where they're going to take this one out. Feel like, I don't know why, Cam. I am sensing we're going to see an interception, and then we're going to see some kneel downs for New England.
Yeah, to send us home, right? Here's
Yeah.
a step up throw and incomplete. as that was intended for sad neighbors. How about this? Okay, let's just mention the Giants players that we've
Yeah.
really not even had an opportunity to really call tonight. We mentioned Jermaine Hawk on the returns. Okay, fullback James White. We mentioned Jermaine Hawk, but not very much. Emmett Ellis, only 2 receptions on the day. Malik Sad Neighbors. I mean, some guy that we literally call 6 to 8 times a game. Nothing
Yep.
tonight. Tino Austin, nothing tonight. He got injured. He had one good play. That was it. Ace Millie, nothing tonight. It has
Yep.
been a woeful day for the Giants offense. As there is a pass that is complete to Sad Neighbors, as we mentioned. If that's anything, that tells you just about this Patriot defense and how they've been able to lock every weapon the Giants offense possesses completely down.
Yeah, I mean they've been showing up in a huge way, and that's one thing I find very interesting in this game because this isn't a secondary that pops out on paper as Alexander will scramble for the first down. It's not like the Raiders. I think that's there's two big focal points when you talk about the two best teams in the league. It's usually the Patriots and their dual-headed attack, which they've kind of abandoned tonight, right? And then the Raiders secondary, right? And now this Patriots secondary is playing just as good, if not better, than that Raiders secondary, right? So interesting to see.
Oh, yeah, indeed. Minute 31 remaining, 91 ticks of the clock left. Here is a throw into coverage, tipped and batted away, intended for Emmett Ellis. It's incomplete as we now have a 2nd and 10 coming up.
44 involved in the pass deflection there as we're a sea of white jerseys trying to get a hand on it.
Law and Harrison, might as well call them Law and Order the way they've
Oh
been
yeah.
playing today. I mean, they have just, dominated this defensive front. There is a interception, and what's one more? I believe that's Vrabel in on it. It is who picks up the INT, and that will do it. Well, you read it like a book there, DJ, and that is the cherry on top for the Patriots D.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it there. There was four Patriots that would have had a chance to put their hands on that ball sooner than the receiver running that corner route. Just an errant throw. It almost felt like he was just giving it up to him and asking them to finish him off because that's really what it was now in victory formation here for the Patriots after what was a very, very long and grueling game for the Giants.
A fun game if you're a Patriot fan or an
Yeah.
athlete, no doubt. A day to really look at what's went right for this season. It's kind of all encapsulated right there, as we said, the playoff push is coming, and no doubt the Patriots, they look just about primed and ready with just a couple of minor tweaks that need to be made. This, if I'm not mistaken, and we have certainly called it a lot of football games this season, partner in the AFA, but I think this is the first time we have seen the second string squad actually come out
Yeah,
to
I
finish a
think you're
game, right?
right.
Yeah, I
I
think
can't
so.
recall it happening before.
I cannot. We can try to fact check that, and if we stand corrected, we'll definitely let you know. Of course, if you know in the chat, and just let us know if we are wrong in that. But that to me is a pretty good indicator that your team is right where you
Yeah,
need it to be.
for sure.
As these teams have continued to develop and a lot of the games hanging in the balance. Well, now this one is not. And so the Patriots able to rest their starters for the greater portion of this fourth quarter. Here is the final snap. This game is over. The Patriots come away victorious 38-3 as we transition in to our AFA post-game report. A good effort by the Giants, but some things to clean up before they go into the playoffs, no doubt. DJ, of course, give me your final thoughts as well as your game balls if you have any to pass around there.
Yeah, I mean, you look at this one, right, and as far as the story of the game goes, the Giants were just they didn't show up. New England didn't even play their best football, and yet they were still able to take a dominant win in this one. We would
44
have needed,
minutes.
44 minutes of time of possession, leaving 12 minutes to the Giants. There's only so much you can do. There's only so many times you can stop an offense from scoring. As far as a game ball goes, I got to give it, and I won't give it to anyone in particular, but I'll give it to the entire Patriots secondary because they are, they're the reason that they, were as dominant in this game as they were, and they're the reason Eric Alexander might need some therapy going into the playoffs.
Yeah, indeed, physical and maybe even a little emotional, as the
Yeah,
way that they certainly attacked him tonight. I'll tell you what, as far as the game balls go, obviously, the standouts that we have talked about in this game, you mentioned them. You see the stats. I'm going to give an attaboy though to the Giants defense, and I know it may
absolutely.
seem
Yep.
crazy to say in a 38-3 loss, but for a lot of this game, we were into the third quarter saying, hey, if the offense can get going, they're just two scores behind. It never did happen, but that wouldn't have been possible if it hadn't been for a Giants defense that was on the field for 44 minutes today,
Yep.
DJ.
Yep.
And for that, an unprecedented amount here in the AFA, I will give them an attaboy for their efforts. They took this one on their shoulders today.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there, partner. William Simpson had a great game, had a pair of interceptions, and the linebacking core as well for the Giants showed up very well.
Indeed. So, folks, we'll get ready and transition into what is going to be an exciting showdown in the Bay Area, of course, in Oakland, as you see the Big Stepper gets the overall player of the game here on our AFA broadcast. But that's going to do it here from the Big Apple. Next time you see us, we'll be on California time. You are watching the AFA on YouTube. For Brady White, for DJ Kilgannon, I'm Cameron Duty. We'll see you next time.